Alright, this is just a follow-up to our hamstring video and articles on our website that we've done lately, and this is just to show you an example of what true hamstring tightness would look like, and also really with what there's a poor hip mechanic at play, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So firstly, I'm going to show you this is where someone can lift their knee up and they maintain good postural control. So they've got good hip and lumbar spine disassociation. So what that means is, so when my leg lifts up like so, when I get into, which is a running action as such, or even walking or walking upstairs, for example, I maintain the neutral curve of my spine there. All right, so I'm pretty much stay straight all the way. This is also the same what you would see at the bottom of a squat. Anytime my hip has to come up into here, even sitting on a chair, to be honest, I'm able to maintain a nice posture because I have good core control and my hips are not trying to dominate my stability, which ruins me. So what it looks like is when I lose it is when my knee comes up and my spine sort of rolls under, so I actually go into that. So I'm not getting any hip movement, I'm just using my spine to lift my leg. So see, my hips have become stiff, so now all the movement's being generated from there. So I'm just going purely into lumbar flexion, which is a great way to get a disc bulge. That's where we see a lot of back problems begin, and hamstring stiffness is going to be massive because it never actually goes into a stretch. So it's actually remaining short and tight, and this is going to be the pain. But the real problem is the hip stiffness. So it's not to stretch the hamstring, it's to teach the hip to move better, which then stops the hamstring becoming tight and you're blowing your back out all the time, or getting groin problems, abdominal problems. All right, so that's what it looks like there. Now if I take it to the floor, you'll also see this on the floor, and you'll see I'll put my hand under my back. So that signifies, if I can maintain that, and it's a bit hard to see on this, but there's my neutral curve, and if you would be able to see daylight under my back there if you're down at floor level. All right, and if I am lying like that and you can see daylight, then that's good. But if I'm someone, and especially when my legs are out straight, someone with their legs out straight, you would always see that's normal. And a lot of people, to be honest, will have too much. They'll go have too much anterior tilt. The person with true hamstring stiffness will actually flatten out their back. So when they're lying there, you'll see no gap. They're like a dead flat back. That's a true hamstring stiffness person there, where they're just stuck in a posterior tilt all the time. All right. So now, when I bring my legs up, if I'm already under to begin with, I don't have any much further to go. All right. So on a hamstring stretch like that, you would see that they won't get very far. They'll probably be stuck around there somewhere, because the hamstrings were already, the lower back had already gone. They had nothing else to move with. All right, so that's when you see something, but it's more of a hip problem. All right, now one other way that I might look at this is a dead giveaway is that person, when I put them in this position, can't keep that lumbar curve. Their default position will be more like that, especially when I move them. So when they're moving in, they should have this sort of a movement. See, there's no little movement through my spine, and I maintain the curve. Where that one, I lose it. See that? So if I take it back to the last one, so that one, see that? When my hip comes in, it's good. There, versus, say, this one. See that? Where I'm just rising up through there. I can't maintain that curve. That's when you see, okay, this person's got a hip function. It's not necessarily stiff, it's just maybe the way they've learnt, and a more difficult, challenging exercise, which really makes it stand out even more, is the jackknife. So this is where I'm rolling it in and out, and I need to have really good hip mobility here and good trunk stability so I don't lose my curve again. I've got to keep that curve. All right, my hips have got to move all the way from here to there. I have to really have, in this bottom point where my pelvis tips that way. It has to tip forward. All right. If it doesn't, that's what will happen. All right. And so you can see these hamstrings are really remain stiff, but it's a hip problem. All right, and that's going to give me a back problem again. All right. So I hope that sort of helped explain what you're looking for with hamstring stiffness and and hip mobility problems that make things look like hamstrings. And yeah, so if there are also the corrective things that you could use for that to try and change that hip mechanics around those movements. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed that video, and I'll see you on one of our next